Welcome to Fuel Her Awesome, the nutrition pep talk to supercharge your week. I'm Jess, registered dietitian and empowered eating coach, here to help you take your health to that next level. In these bite-sized episodes, we cut right through the noise and blend science with biofeedback and values, all while teaching you how to trust your intricately and beautifully designed body. Because here's the deal, you are awesome, and life is an invitation to show up that way. But you can't do it without food. So let's lean in as we explore how to fuel your awesome with empowered eating. What's up, sisters? So glad you are here because I'm guessing you relate to this energy dip or this inability to focus. I mean, there are lots of reasons for it, but my goal is that after this episode, nutrition is not one of those reasons that you lack energy and focus. You know, I'm just thinking of the days and all that we have to handle. And I think all of us have felt that energy crash, whether it's at 10 a.m. or 3 p.m. And if you're like me, it's like you go for another cup of coffee or whatever's available. And I think in these scenarios, you know, it's not so much willpower, it's our fueling strategy that needs some attention and work. And that is what we are going to do here today. So this question came from another listener. So if you're new here, friend, if you have a nutrition question, I would love to answer it on the show. All you have to do is submit it. There's a link in the show notes. But this question actually came in a few different forms. And so I kind of collected it into like one question, and that is, what should I eat for more energy and focus? And I have to tell you, I literally just had a client message me this morning and she said, is it normal to have this much energy? Like, is this what normal energy is supposed to feel like? Yes, sister, it is. Okay, if you are new here, let me break down empowered eating for you in 30 seconds. It is overlapping your values, your body's biofeedback, and nutrition science. And so for the purpose of this podcast, we hit on various topics and we look at each of those domains. So we're going to do a values compass alignment, like why is this important to what's important to me, a biofeedback boss tip, and then a nerdy nutrition nugget. So we hit on the biofeedback, the science, and your values. Okay, let's start with our values compass. Energy equals freedom. So let's ground in this, no matter what you value, family, faith, mission work, your energy is your freedom to be fully present with your kids, to kill it at work, to show up for your workouts. Your food needs to support that. And that this is not about perfection. It's about function. You deserve a brain and a body that works for you, not against you. And let's take empowered eating just a hair farther here, because one of my favorite motivational speakers on the planet, his name is Jocko Willink. He is just incredible. His motto is discipline equals freedom. And I'm kind of like, when I was thinking of this podcast and the idea that energy equals freedom, I thought, but what precedes energy is discipline. And I don't know what your relationship is with that word. I had to really work on my relationship with that word because for so long, I was what I thought was disciplined with food, when in reality, I was rigid with food. They're very different things. But here in the empowered eating world, we believe in discipline around what we eat because it's aligned with our value system. So bringing that back with our values compass, whatever it is you value, we may need some discipline to integrate the next things I'm going to talk about so that we have energy, which equals freedom to be and show up how we want to show up in the world. All right, so that's our value compass. Moving over to biofeedback boss tips here, sister. Start noticing your energy curve. Like, when do you feel this crash? I mentioned some of you might feel it at 10, some might feel it at 3. I think most of us feel it in the afternoon. We're like, oh, all right, we still have like 8 hours left. How are we going to do this? Wherever your energy dips are, I just want you to notice the patterns, because your energy is a messenger. And if you're foggy or unfocused, or maybe you feel short-tempered or snappy, like, this is not a flaw, this is a cue. When you can recognize that biofeedback is gold, because it's going to serve as invitations to make some changes to our fueling strategy so that we don't hit those dips. All right, let's layer in the science. here's the science. Here's your science, your nerdy nutrition nugget in like 60 seconds on energy and blood sugar. Your brain runs almost exclusively on glucose. Unless you are in a full state of ketosis, okay, this is going to be longer than 60 seconds. Who am I kidding? I can't dive. This is my favorite part. I can't dive into this in just 60 seconds. Okay, let me back up. Your brain runs almost exclusively on glucose. If you're in keto, that's a different story. But being in full ketosis takes days. And if you have just a little bit of sugar, sister, you're out of ketosis. This is part of what drives me crazy about the keto diet is people say they're doing keto, but they're still eating some glucose. So their brain isn't really relying on keto. Anyways, it's bad science is what it is. So for those of you that are eating any carbohydrates, your brain runs exclusively on glucose. But not all carbs give the same steady energy supply. So simple carbohydrates like a donut or a plain bagel, this is going to spike your blood sugar like pretty quickly. And like a roller coaster, the faster it goes up, the harder it's going to fall. Now, if we integrate fat and protein into that mix, and I'm thinking like eggs and Greek yogurt, like making it a more robust breakfast or meal, you completely change the digestion of those carbohydrates and you have a more moderated blood sugar curve throughout the day. Furthermore, if we start hitting our protein levels, like if you're hitting that 20 to 30 grams every meal or every snack, that's also going to help manage your hunger levels. So now we're managing two different biofeedback parts here, right? We're managing blood sugar because we're not having carbs alone, and we're also managing our hunger hormones because we're having adequate protein. See how we're doing that? We're awesome. This is amazing. Now I'm going to add a bonus here. If we put dense nutrition in the mix, specifically omega-3 fatty acids, omega-3s come from walnuts and salmon, flaxseed. Sister, this is lotion for your brain. It actually supports brain function in real time, meaning if you have blood levels of these fatty acids, your brain is getting that spa day. And so when we take these three things, this nutrition science, and we've read our body's biofeedback, we know when those energy dips are, we can start to pair those together. And from the discipline we pull from our value system, we can motivate and talk ourselves into actually following through with some of this, where we have an intentional breakfast, an intentional snack, an intentional lunch, depending on when those energy dips are. So here's your takeaway action step for today. I want you to identify when you have these energy dips and add a balanced nutrition snack 30 minutes before you anticipate that dip. Ooh, and I'm actually going to add one extra layer. Add an energy-dense snack, like we talked about with the carbs, protein, maybe a little omega-3s in there. I'm kind of thinking like some Greek yogurt with walnuts. Doesn't that just sound great? Let's add that and a glass of water. Everybody probably needs to drink more water. Let's add that into your rhythm about 30 minutes before you anticipate those energy dips, and let's watch how much better you feel. I want you to be the next person that messages me and says, is this what normal energy is supposed to feel like? Yes, sister, it is. You were meant to have energy and the ability to focus on the tasks at hand. That's why God created food in the first place. And so my hope is that this helps you do just that. Whatever you have ahead of you today, whatever you have ahead of you this week, may your food be the very fuel that gives you energy and the freedom to show up in the world the way you want to. If you want help diving deeper into this, I would love to be that person in your corner. There's a few different ways you can work with me. I do see clients one-on-one, but I also have an incredible program that rolled out at the beginning of the year called the Well-Fueled Academy, which is the best way to work with me. You're going to get one-on-one attention. We do one-on-one coaching calls, but you're also going to get additional group dynamics. We do a new topic every month. We're talking about supplements this month. I'm so excited. We're going to dive into how to be supplement savvy, and then everybody gets their own supplement stack reviewed. Very cool. You have weekly food log reviews. You get feedback from me and the team regularly. It's just a great place to be. But if that's something that, you think, gosh, this podcast is great, but I really want to know more. I need this to be fixed in my life so that I know what normal energy feels like. Sister, it is not normal to feel exhausted all the time. You deserve that energy. You deserve that attention. You can find more about that and working with me in the show notes. Until then, I hope you have an amazing day. Cheers and happy eating. That's a wrap on today's Empowered Eating Pep Talk. If this hits home, be sure to leave a review and share it on your social media, tagging me at JessBrownRD. And girl, if you're ready to take your nutrition and mindset to that next level, I would love to get to know you more. Head on over to JessBrownRD.com to explore things like the Well-Fueled Academy, one-on-one coaching, and all the free resources I have to help you live, eat, and fuel your awesome. Until next time, sister, have an amazing day. Cheers and happy eating.